Hi, everybody, and welcome back to It Takes a Village. I am Jenny Schultz-Thomas, and I'm joined by Dan Loven-Crum today. How are you, Dan?
I'm good.
Good.
Beautiful
Awesome.
day.
It is a beautiful day. We've had several beautiful days actually this season. I feel like maybe unnaturally or out of season warmth for Nebraska. It's supposed to be almost 90 degrees on Saturday when my son has a baseball game. Is that typical?
I you never know
There's no
in
typical.
Nebraska. I was almost said Arizona, but that's where I was before.
You're
So,
home.
but Nebraska, yeah, it's like one day you can have this weather, and the next day it's something different. So,
Right? I mean, and that's not just the weather. I think that's why it takes a village, right? It takes a village to know what the weather is going to be today. It takes a village to either know you should plant your flowers now or wait because it's going to be frosty when you don't expect it to be.
exactly.
Yes, well, we're always having fun over here at Countryside. We know that life takes a village to get through, but here we celebrate that we are building a community of belonging and connection. We're thankful for the ways in which always looking for growth and opportunity. Looking back, we've just come off of a really full season, one of our, most enlivening, enriching seasons in the Christian year, and that's Easter. And we had such a great celebratory season here with so many opportunities to connect, to worship, with a great brunch. I mean, how many people? We had so many people eating and gathering, right? Diane, I don't remember what she said, but it's just an abundant season.
Yes, we have got things going on all over the place, and we're still
Exactly.
going to have things going on.
That's right. There's no sort of Easter after Easter lull where you just kind of like ease into summer. I think that's a good thing. It used to be, Easter, and then after Easter, the pastor used like roll them up off the ground, and then it was like reading and planning for the next year. These days, it's 6 months out, what's 6 weeks out, and we're just always planning the next amazing opportunity for growth. On the heels of Easter, we invited Dr. Lewis, Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis, to be back with us. A really enriching, enlivening experience with Jackie. She is a force to be sure, and she talked about faith voice in a time when we just need to be reclaiming our own identity as a force in this community for justice and love and compassion and kindness. So I think that resurrection energy, is still living really strong in our community. And what else is going on right now?
Well, just know that you're gonna be hearing some stuff on some radio spots and lifting up countryside to the greater Omaha community. So be looking out for those. I know some will be on Boomer Radio and some other stations. And with your place, your people, your home. So that's something to look forward to.
That is right. I love it too. Your place, your people, your home. Right. It just sort of it's exactly who we are. People come all the time for different reasons, right? Come looking for connection, belonging. Their friend comes here looking to be seen, a place that really sees and believes in who you are. So that it just really rings true about the heart of countryside. Somebody told me they heard it on the radio and it was just like brought tears to their eyes. It's like you created this place, right? You created this home, and these are your people. So, yeah, that's fun, Dan. There's so many things that people may not think about that kind of go into the life and work of Countryside Community Church, right? You see kind of everything behind the scenes and what it takes to get radio sound bites out there, what it takes to have how many hundreds of people in this building last weekend. I mean, what was going on? I mean, besides worship already, what else
We
happened?
had we had worship, and then we had the talk back with Jackie, and then we had two different piano recitals happening at the same time. One of them does like three recitals in a row with, you know, 50 people each. We had the blood drive going on, and
We
then we
had
had
campers.
youth in the afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1,000 plus, 1,000, 2,000 people at least. I mean, so that's the beauty. If you're hearing, you're listening, if you're a Countryside member or a community member, one of the gifts of this building and this commons is that it is a place for everyone. whether you are plugged into the faith worshiping community or a community member walking through these doors, it is sort of this hub of activity, and it really is a community where people belong and maybe belonging to different things, but we all sort of have a home here in this building, in this place, in the spirit that resides here. So that's one, to the next. We did celebrate, 23, 24 new members into our community on
Yep.
Sunday, celebrating who they are, who we are together. Um, and now, fast forward, we're looking kind of into the summer already, and then looking into the fall. The summer, there's always, we always have the Pride Parade. We always have guest preachers. Pentecost is coming up right here.
Make
In
sure you
June,
wear red that day.
right?
We're going to try to get as many people wearing red, orange, or yellow on Pentecost Sunday. So
Right. And Husker fans, you have plenty of red. You have no excuse, right? Wear red. Red for Ed. Teachers out there have been wearing red. There's red everywhere. So I'm gonna wear my sizzling bacon stole, the one that's the Holy Spirit. Yeah, so that's a fun. There's always great opportunities to kind of have fun and be part of community. Wearing red for Pentecost, the birthday of the church in a lot of ways. Um, and
yeah,
then,
it'd be fun to have people. So when I first moved to Arizona, and I did it again. When I first moved to
yeah.
Nebraska from Arizona, one of the first Saturday in the fall, we were in a cafe and we're like, why is everybody wearing red? And it was a Husker game day, and so everybody's wearing red. So what we need to do is everybody wear red on Pentecost, and then everybody in our community going, why is everybody wearing
Why they
red?
wear
There's not a
red.
game today.
That's so true, right?
And
It's
we
a
can tell the story as to
discussion
Pentecost.
starter. I know. We need some Holy Spirit fire in here. That's
Yeah.
a great story. Well, and Pentecost, and then right after Pentecost, right, we are going to be celebrating and observing Juneteenth, right? And we've just, celebrated becoming a racial equity church in this congregation and working, weekly to learn and grow together. And, Reverend Darrell Brown Jr. is a force, right? A great preacher, orator, great activist, somebody in this community who's working for justice. So you have Pentecost, breathing Holy Fire Spirit, and then we have a guest who's coming to speak into this space as we observe that. This coming week is Mother's Day, and then again in June it's Father's Day. There's so many things that in our own lives, like we're attending to and celebrating. And so this infusion of the church as a place that people are home, you know, some people need the church as their family. Some people have a difficulty celebrating a Mother's Day or a Father's Day for their own trauma. Some people, that's the one great memory that they have of, their own family. So there's always something going on and a way for everyone to find their place at Countryside. If that's O&A Sunday, June 29th, that's an opportunity for everyone who is part of our community to remember, that commitment. What does it mean to be an O&A church, an open and affirming church who sees and loves everyone, who celebrates the beloved, in our gay, lesbian, trans, questioning, two-spirited, you name it. We are this great amalgam, right? The tapestry of this Pentecost birthing church that's still living into our identity. So, if you think you're just going to lull your way through Countryside post Easter and into the summer, you know, we're going to invite you to continue celebrating and to continue asking questions, right? Find your way here. Dan, what are you excited about with General Synod? Tell us, I know you're going to be at General Synod. What are you looking forward to?
It'll be my first time ever going to a general synod, so I'm looking
Awesome.
forward to experiencing the greater national setting of the UCC. I being on the Nebraska board of the conference UCC board for Nebraska as a board of directors. I've gotten to experience the conference level, so this will be my first experience at the synod level. So I don't really know what to expect. I
Oh,
do know
wow.
I will be assigned to one of the proposals that come forth as one of the to evaluate that and make recommendations to the general synod for voting. But I don't haven't learned gotten my assignments yet. But I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that this summer.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. That's July 11 to 15 in Kansas
Correct.
City. And we will, try to find a way for people here to be able to plug in that you can watch, from home. You can watch, maybe even join together in the sanctuary and watch or something. But it is a great experience. If you haven't been a part of a general synod, such a beautiful reminder, first of all, of the diversity of our denomination, the United Church of Christ and our parent, organizations, and how there's still so much discussion and discernment around who it is that we want to be as a national body. It's great to watch one of those resolutions come up. You debate them. You get to be behind the scenes working on that, and then which things actually hit the floor and then are debated on the floor, and then become one of those resolutions adopted by General Synod and hopefully influencing the wider church. So stay tuned for more on General Synod. It's awesome that you get to be a kind of a delegate there, Dan, and let the church see and know how to be an active part of our wider church. In July, I am on my July sabbatical, and I'm going to miss like the most amazing sermon series that I put together for the community about being neighborly and showing love at a time that the world wants us to be divided. And so we have four guest preachers. First, Imam Ibrahim Ashur, who is the Imam at AMI, will be with us here on that first Sunday in July. And right on the heels of that, Juniper Meadows, you minister at Second Unitarian Church in Omaha. And then Rabbi Ben Sharf, who is the senior rabbi at Temple, and then our own Leah Georges, who is at leadership at Creighton University as a professor and also our vice moderator. So that series will really be sort of starting with Imam, through the lens of Allah, God, through oneness, right? How do we see our neighborly love and come together while the world is sort of kind of torn? And then, of course, Juniper Meadows, Reverend Meadows, talking to us about the intra-ecumenical partnership and how do we partner with other organizations to bring about that kind of unity and that support. And then Rabbi Sharf, through a particular Judeo-Christian slash tri-faith, lens here on the Commons. What does that look like for Muslims and Christians and Jews together to be neighbors, even as the world wants us to be otherwise? And then, of course, Leah, an intra-community focus. Who are we at Countryside, and how do we strengthen ourselves for that message and that work? So that'll be exciting, Dan. You have to tell me all about it. I will be
Yep.
away. I'll be in Costa Rica for a period of that time with my family and working on a book. Gosh, knock on wood if I ever get some of those headlines down. But that will be a lovely, lovely month of worshiping at Countryside.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think so. That last Sunday, the 27th, we were naming as Laity Sunday. Have you all had a Laity Sunday in the past since you've been here?
Uh, yeah, we had a couple during COVID, or when we were in between ministers, a couple of the services we had three or four people from the congregation speaking
Yeah,
on
awesome.
different pieces. So yes, we tapped into the strength and wisdom of people within our congregation.
That's so great. So that'll be an opportunity, come the end of July to really do that again and then continue to do that throughout our worship life, right? Bringing different voices and expressions of faith, questions. We all challenge and ask different questions. So do mark your calendars to be here in July for that wonderful series. And then, lastly, as we think about transitions, right? There have been so many transitions and opportunity for growth and change, either thrust upon our community over moving and COVID or loss of ministry staff or otherwise, so change is a part of the church. It's such a part of our lives. We are entering a season of more change and opportunity. We are in contract with ministry architects who will be with us, in May, and then again in June, doing listening sessions, asking, who are we and how do we see our commitment to and the ministry and formation for our children and youth? What is our vision as a church for
Mhm.
those stepping stones of faith? And that will lead us to then, as we get closer to that 1 year commitment in our room with our youth director, who is God calling to be a part of Countryside to help take the next step in our endeavor to provide spiritual formation. So that's exciting. That's, I hope people, if you're listening, that you will sign up for one of those listening sessions. We've sent that out in the C10. If you can't find that, you can always call the church and we can help you sign up. Any
Yep,
more news
there's
about that?
still openings available, so please sign up.
Yeah, we want to hear your voice. We want to hear, I know that those consultants will make a wonderful experience as people sign up and listen and talk together. The more voices that we have, the better representation that we will have for making those moves in the future. And then, sadly, we're going to be losing two of our beloved staff here just really soon. Too soon, right, Dan?
Yes.
Sarah Rental Jones is going to be transitioning out of her role as minister to congregational care, and she will be moving to a local church here, First Central, one of our sister churches, and serve as their interim. And she's been such a gift to us at Countryside, and she'll do amazing ministry there. A deep loss for us, of course, but also a celebration in the United Church of Christ that we have a great minister, just down the road that will continue to support our churches. We're making plans right now to have somebody working part-time in pastoral care throughout the summer and into the early fall. We'll be sharing news about that. But we have another transition of a beloved staff member, Dan.
So Sherry Gardner, our financial secretary, has been with us almost 25 years. I asked her if she wanted to stay the summer and hit 25-year mark, but she said no. So her last day will be the end of this month.
Mhm.
And so I'm specifically inviting if you've ever interacted with Sherry or um, want to say goodbye on the 27th of May from 11:30 to 1:30. We're going to have an open house for her, just for people to stop by and acknowledge her service and thank her for her time at Countryside. Over the years, I'm sure most everybody at one time or another had to call up and say, "Hey, I didn't. How do I get reimbursed for this?" Or
Yeah. We're
my check didn't clear, or blah blah blah. So she's been with us and has done an amazing job, and going to be sorely missed.
Oh, exactly. I was just talking with her this morning. You know, there's no, it's just, there's no replacing someone like that, right? Longevity doesn't exist in the same way anymore. And also the kind of person Sherry is, and the diligence and the detail and just the patience. She's just one of a kind. So we will miss her so much, but we celebrate her retirement and the next chapter. She has grandkids in Kansas City. She'll be able to really enjoy that. So please come and visit with Sherry on the 27th, and also on the May 18th, Sarah Rental Jones, we will have in the worship service sort of a celebration and a litany of release celebrating her ministry here. And following, we'll have a reception to greet her and share your gratitude and thanks for her work here. So a lot to be thankful for, a lot to look forward to. Just doing this, it's such a gift, a privilege to walk alongside of our members and supporting staff in the next iteration of their lives. So, the world keeps turning and we are here. I told Dan, he's never allowed to transition out of this. That will not be a happy celebratory moment. I will not give you cake if you do that. But yeah, so much to be thankful for, right, Dan?
Yep.
Yeah, here we are. And I told Dan before on this podcast, we've been talking about leadership and inviting different leaders. You've met multiple staff on the Countryside team and some from Tri-Faith, that we would kind of close that chapter and look to kind of what's next. And what's next is we never know, right? We're always evolving as an organization, inviting new faces, new gifts, and that might be you. There's always a place for you at Countryside to serve, to share, and to feel at home, right? Because it's your place, your people, your home, side community church. Thank you all for being with us. Thanks, Dan. I look forward to many more conversations.
Yes.
We'll see you here next time. Have a great week.
Have a good week.
Thank you.